right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Tonight, a threatening letter sent by Missouri's top attorney to the biggest drugstore chains. His warning about mailing abortion pills.
Barely above freezing today, but we'll build on that tomorrow. Why one day out of the next 10 looks unlike any of the others.
But first tonight, on the day St. Louis Public Schools names its next superintendent, we go to her current boss to learn about her track record.
The city of St. Louis is getting one of our finest.
And we sit down with the new leader of the district. Good evening. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. Dr. Keisha Scarlett will begin her new role as St. Louis Public Schools Superintendent on July 1st. As she prepares to make the transition, we're learning more about her background. New tonight, 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon even talked to her current boss in Seattle, Washington. Brent.
That's right, Mike. You heard Superintendent Brent Jones off the top saying we're getting one of his finest. So who is Dr. Scarlett, and what are some of the differences between where she's coming from and where she's going?
So if our children are doing well, then the city is doing well.
Dr. Keisha Scarlett speaking with me via Zoom Wednesday on the very day St. Louis Public Schools announced she will take over as superintendent. She comes from Seattle Public Schools, where she's worked for the past 24 years, most recently as assistant superintendent.
There are some differences, but definitely some familiarities.
Let's take a look. Seattle has 106 schools. St. Louis has 78. Seattle has some 6,000 educators. St. Louis has around 3,400. Of Seattle's 52,000 students, 46% are white. 14% are black. Of St. Louis's 19,000 students, 12% are white. 77% are black. Scarlett tells me she will focus on highlighting all students, regardless of background or learning ability, which is what she zeroed in on in Seattle.
What we don't want to have are segregated environments. We want to ensure that they're inclusive environments. All of us have gifts and talent. And I think about us being part of a beautiful quilt or a tapestry where everyone is connected.
She advocates for the right things. She's student-centered.
Superintendent Brent Jones is Dr. Scarlett's current boss.
If I were to go survey your community right now, and I was to meet with your PTA presidents and the NAACP and local pastors, what would they tell me about Dr. Scarlett?
They'd say she was one of ours. They would claim her as somebody that we've been proud of, the community has been proud of.
All right, so before she worked on the district level, Scarlett was a principal. She won Principal of the Year for the state of Washington. One Seattle board member telling me today, quote, "I am proud of Dr. Scarlett and gutted that she'll be leaving us. Our loss is your gain."
It's a pretty great report. Brent, thank you. It is a chilly night across St. Louis, but silver lining. We got above freezing today, huh, folks? And tomorrow, it's going to be even warmer. Can you believe that? Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell says it's going to be another cold start to the day.
Another cold start, but you know, it's all relative. A couple of mornings ago, down to, 11 degrees. Yesterday morning, 15 degrees. So we're talking about temperatures this morning. Well, it was cold, but we're going to be about 20, 25 degrees tomorrow morning. We're not dropping off all that much tonight. Still 29. Looking out at Lambert, there have been some flight delays the last couple of days because of everything going on to our south. We've just been on the northern fringes of it, and that's why we've had the clouds in and out during the last couple of days. Upper 20s here right now. Don't see it dropping much below 24, 25 tonight. Even though the radar shows some snow trying to fall over the bi-state area, it's having a hard time reaching the ground. The air is incredibly dry, so we expect it to be partly to mostly cloudy with a thicker cloud south of St. Louis overnight. Low to mid-20s out the door tomorrow morning. And yes, tomorrow will end up being a bit warmer across the bi-state area. Clouds are thicker south of St. Louis. We're staying dry, much warmer for Thursday, but Friday's cold. The weekend is not. More on that in a few minutes, Ann.
Thank you, Scott. Tonight, police are looking for the people who stole a motorcycle, led police on a chase, and then they hit a car and a Spire worker.
Now, this all started early this morning off Heege Road in South St. Louis County and ended along Gravois in South City before the thieves ran off. 5 on Your Side's Ryan Henson shows us what happened.
At 6 o'clock Wednesday morning, thieves in a black SUV took a motorcycle on Wynwood in St. Louis County and loaded it into a trailer. Police tried to stop the suspects, but the SUV sped up and drove into St. Louis city limits. The driver hit a Nissan Rogue at Hampton and Gravois, injuring a woman and left something behind in the process.
The trailer became separated from the Cadillac, which continued on Gravois, and the trailer struck a pole.
But that didn't stop the suspects. They kept going down Gravois, eventually hitting a Spire worker at Gravois and Christie.
The Spire employee suffered a severe injury to his left leg, and he was also conveyed to an area hospital for treatment.
The SUV eventually stopped in an alleyway where the suspects escaped. Jerry Ute has lived near Christie for 50 plus years. The longtime neighbor says he's tired of dangerous driving and behavior along Gravois.
They put their foot to the gas pedal and they're doing as fast as they can go to get there. They'll blow your horn at you, or I hate to say this, give you the bird or whatever you want to call it.
Would you say you're tired of it for sure?
Oh yes, you better believe we're tired of it.
Ryan Henson, 5 on your side.
Spire says their thoughts and prayers are with that injured worker. SLMPD is still looking for those responsible. It's been a busy week for car crimes in the city of St. Louis. Police are investigating 149 car thefts in the last 7 days. That's more than 21 per day. Police are also investigating 31 reports of aggravated assaults with a firearm in the last week.
New details tonight about a 13-year-old accused of pointing a gun at a pastor's face and stealing his car. We've learned the teenager's mom is the one who turned him in. The teen, his family, and the victim of the crime were all in court today. Pastor Mike Coleman with Carondelet Baptist Church says he learned the 13-year-old boy will stay in custody for the time being, and he spoke at today's hearing.
I told him I'm praying for these kids. I can go forward knowing that maybe we can stop someone else from doing this and help. I just want to know that someone realizes what they did was so horrific, they don't want to ever do that again.
Police are still looking for a second teen involved in that crime.
Tonight, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey is warning pharmacies there will be legal consequences for selling abortion pills by mail. He is joining more than a dozen other states' attorney general in a new lawsuit. Our Elise Schoenig is here with reaction from both sides in the latest battle in the abortion debate.
Attorney General Bailey is telling Walgreens and CVS to take caution after they announced they do intend to sell the abortion pill. This comes after the FDA announced earlier this month it would allow the pills to be sent to patients with prescriptions.
Missourians deserve access to the full range of health care that they need.
8th Ward Alderwoman Annie Rice is reacting to what she feels is yet another restriction to reproductive rights in Missouri.
They're out here to score talking points, and they're instilling more fear in people who need abortions in states where it's restricted.
She's talking about a letter signed by Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey and 19 others. It warns pharmaceutical companies of legal consequences for selling abortion pills by mail.
I think there's a significant legal question as to whether or not participating in abortion pills by mail is something that the Attorney General has any say over.
Rice feels this letter provides more harm than good, but others feel it's a crucial reminder.
And we should be informing the public that a chemical abortion is not a safe and simple thing for you to do at home.
Coalition Life founder and executive director Brian Westbrook provides alternatives to abortions for women.
It's not better for the mom, and it's certainly not better for the child who dies through that abortion.
He believes the writing in the letter should be taken seriously.
A surgical abortion is the same as a chemical abortion. So if the pharmacies want to distribute chemical abortions, they become an abortion facility.
A Society for Family Planning study found abortions in Illinois went up 28% between April and August 2022. It's why Westbrook feels abortion alternatives are needed.
There's a lot of clients coming to Illinois for abortions, and we need to be able to serve them right here in this area.
And it's why Rice feels this battle is far from over.
Restricting access is terrible. It's healthcare that people need. And so I'm grateful for those organizations that are still out there fighting for access.
Attorney General Andrew Bailey didn't say exactly what legal action he would take if pharmacies do start selling abortion pills by mail.
Elise, Black History Month kicks off today. Here in St. Louis, it started with a tradition unique to the Gateway City.
Members of the St. Louis African American Aldermanic Caucus raised the red, green, and black flag outside City Hall this morning. Organizers say St. Louis is the first city to raise the flag in honor of Black history. Mayor Tashara Jones says it should be celebrated every day, not just in the month of February.
Our country with all of its flaws, we need to make sure that we're telling the true story and trust our children to ask the right questions, or ask questions, period. Because if they don't know their past, they won't become well-rounded adults.
The flag is also called the Pan-African flag, and it will be on display all month long. To learn more about Black history in America and to learn about events happening around town this month, just text the word history to 314-425-5355. And join 5 on Your Side at the Missouri History Museum. That's on February 23rd. Kelly Jackson and Brent Solomon will host Race, Listen, Learn, Live. It's a panel discussion with local athletes, business professionals, and students. The free event starts at 5:30 for happy hour, followed by the panel at 6:30.
Your refund from the IRS could be a lot smaller this year. Tonight, we're helping you make ends meet by maximizing your return. Groundhog Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Punxsutawney Phil.
We are just hours away from Punxsutawney Phil's prediction on spring's arrival. Tonight, our verified team sheds some light on the shadowy forecaster.
Now, despite what the rodent says tomorrow, February can be fickle when it comes to flakes and flurries. By the first half of the month, it doesn't look promising for snow lovers.
Tonight, the Mighty Lights Bridge in Memphis is lit in red and gold in honor of Tyree Nichols. Those are the colors of his favorite team, the San Francisco 49ers. He died last month following a brutal beating by police. 5 former officers now face second-degree murder charges. Today, thousands gathered in a Memphis church to celebrate Nichols' life.
The 29-year-old was remembered as a man who was a father to a young son and who loved skateboarding and photography.
Tyree was a beautiful person, and for this to happen to him is just unimaginable. And I really, truly believe my son was sitting here on an assignment from God.
Among those in attendance today, the families of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and Vice President Kamala Harris. Mourners issued a call to action to put an end to police killings.
Tonight, we're seeing chilling images of a gunman armed with a rifle walking into a Target in Omaha, Nebraska. No customers or workers were hit by the gunfire. Officers shot and killed 32-year-old Joseph Jones. Investigators say he bought the rifle at a sporting goods store just 4 days before yesterday's incident.
Well, tonight it's costing you more to borrow money and use your credit cards. The Fed is raising interest rates by 0.25%, the lowest hike in 10 months. Wage growth and falling prices are reasons for the reduced hike, but experts warn future hikes may be necessary to cool inflation further. Tax season is here, and you may have heard that you could be getting less money. In tonight's Making Ends Meet, Michelle Lee takes a look at some changes from tax forms to deductions themselves.
These days, it seems like your wallet is getting hit from all angles, from inflation to your taxes.
With the tax law changes, credits went from, say, child tax credit from $3,600 down to $2,000 to $1,500.
The IRS says it's because pandemic relief expired in 2021. Specifically, there are no more child tax credits, no more recovery rebates, and last year the child independent tax credit could have given you $8,000. This year, the max is $2,100.
We saw your TikTok. We saw your TikTok.
Even tax forms are changing if you post and get paid on social media.
And so now they are receiving 1099s.
A tax break for charitable deductions was also allowed to expire.
You can still deduct those things, don't get me wrong, but you have to itemize your deductions.
Those kind of being on the horizon has driven me to kind of like want to put more money in our pockets.
Jake Tebow has been working 2 jobs for a while now. He had hoped to get a break on student loans a few months ago, but he's learning not to count on government generosity.
But also just feel a little more comfortable with things, not feel so tight at the end of the month.
Aside from being disappointed, experts say filing later may be essential. Wait to get all the forms and expect tax preparers to take longer, all for less in return. Michelle Lee, 5 on Your Side.
Well, tomorrow is Groundhog Day. Every year on February 2nd, all eyes turn to a groundhog in a small town in Pennsylvania for the Critters winter forecast.
Tonight, our Verified team is looking into the origins of this tradition. Here's Ariane Till.
Ladies and gentlemen, Punxsutawney Phil.
Groundhog Day.
when Americans wait for Punxsutawney Phil to tell us if there will be 6 more weeks of winter or if spring will come early. So is this just an American tradition? Let's verify. Our sources are the Library of Congress, the Beltane Fire Society, a Scottish organization that seeks to educate the public on Celtic events, and the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources. The Library of Congress traces the origins of Groundhog Day across the pond to Ireland and Scotland, where back in the Neolithic era, about 6,000 years ago, they observed a pre-Christian Celtic celebration called Imach, which is still celebrated today. From February 1st through sundown on February 2nd, people wait for Cailleach, a mythical figure associated with the creation of weather. If Cailleach intended to make winter last a while longer, she would make the weather bright and sunny on Imach so that she could collect plenty of firewood. But if the weather was bad, that meant winter was almost over. Imach later morphed into a holiday called Candlemas, which, according to the Library of Congress, honored a similar belief, that a bright, sunshiny Candlemas day meant a longer winter. Germans added a badger to this weather prediction tradition, according to the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources. If it was sunny, the badger would cast a shadow, and that would indicate 6 more weeks of winter. Groundhogs, a species native to North America, became the animal of choice when Germans immigrated to western Pennsylvania. So we can verify, no. The weather predicting tradition of Groundhog Day did not originate in America. Its roots can be traced back to Europe during the Neolithic era between 4300 and 2000 BC. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
That's a long time. What would you like for us to verify? Send us an email. The email address, verify@ksdk.com.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with our weather first forecast. And how big a help is Punxsutawney Phil to you, Scott?
You know, not much.
What's your guess, though? Not meteorological, your fun guess. What do you think's going to happen?
I think spring is coming early, but I think we're going to get a quick, blast of cold sometime in March. That's my gut feeling right now, based on everything we're seeing.
So you saw your shadow? Or?
I've seen my shadow every day this week. And you know what? Because it's live coverage with TV cameras, Punxsutawney Phil will see his shadow.
Every time.
Every single time. It makes
sense.
No difference. Okay. So we've got a quiet night around St. Louis. Clouds are hanging tough. We made it above freezing today. Yes, it was a cold start at 15, but back to 34 this afternoon. Sure, that's still below average. But this is just the first day of February, and we got to tell you, it is looking like it is going to be another above average month temperature-wise across the bi-state region. Temperatures mid-20s, coldest spots. They're not dropping all that much because the air mass is beginning to modify, and we still have some clouds courtesy of this system that's sliding by to our south. This has really been a mess down across parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, even into northern portions of Mississippi, western portions of Tennessee. Looking at that glazing, still have problems down there tonight. And the future of this over the next 12 to 18 hours, it's all staying to our south, but the atmosphere tends to warm. So by tomorrow afternoon, we're trending just for rain down there instead of this glazing, icy, sloppy mess that they've been dealing with that's left over 370,000 customers in Texas in the dark right now. Tomorrow here at home should be a little bit brighter during the afternoon. We expect temperatures to climb back in the 40s. The reason we won't stay there very long is tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, cold front drops to the south. This time tomorrow night, cold air is surging back in here. The winds are gusty. We're going to wake up to cold temperatures on Friday. We are cold, struggling to get to 30 degrees for the high on Friday, but at least the winds will die down some. And the brunt of the cold air with this going through the Great Lakes into New England for Friday and into Saturday. That's going to leave us relatively quiet here and with a warming trend. So we'll see our temperatures climbing back to around 50 come Saturday afternoon with some sunshine, but much brighter on Sunday with temperatures climbing into the mid-50s, and it looks like we're staying in that territory heading into next week. So partly sunny skies to mostly sunny skies tomorrow. Look for highs to climb into the mid-40s. We're back into the teens again Friday morning, cold Saturday morning, but then by Saturday afternoon, close to 50, mid-50s Sunday, Monday, low to mid-50s Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe some rain as we head towards the middle of the week. That doesn't look like it's an overly impressive system, and it doesn't have cold air behind it. So we're going to be above average with the exception of Friday.
Pretty good weekend, Scott. Thank you. Frank?
And Mizzou is out of sight. I mean awesome. Chip Carey will be with us, and we honor a great coach on National Women in Sports Day. Stick around.
The Sports Desk is brought to you by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
Sunday night on Sports Plus. In the blue corner, Kelly Chase. And in the other blue corner, Tony Twist. Over 3,000 career penalty minutes. Live, no holds barred, coming out swinging. Chase and Twist, 10:30 Sunday night. It's one thing to be a really good team, which they are. Mizzou's now 17-5. It's another to do it with the most enjoyable style of basketball possible, which they're doing. I mean, it's like being a genius and being really good looking. It's a rare combination, and I went 0 for 2. Now, Mizzou came out firing against LSU. Cool hand Luke, Dennis Gates in his standard outfit. Kobe Brown, insane early. He had 26 points for the night. Gosh, do they pass the ball well. Noah Carter, backdoor. Demoy Hodge right there. Mizzou made 11 threes in the first half. Isaiah Mosley with 3 of his 12. Later, defensive play of the day. Mosley with this awesome block on one end. And then Kobe will ram it home on the other end right here. Corey Miller, great ground level video. Second half, Hodge, pass of the night to Mosley. Mizzou wins it 87-77.
I'm retiring for good.
Now that's official that Patrick Mahomes knows for sure the numbers he'll try to surpass. 7 rings, over 89,000 yards passing, 649 touchdowns, and maybe the topper, 251 wins. Chip Caray on the right, the son of Skip and grandson of Harry, is the new Cardinal TV broadcaster. The Parkway West grad is a 57-year-old man who grew up with the transistor radio right next to him.
Yeah, my mom used to buy me batteries for my birthday and Christmas because I'd wear out the AM transistor radio. Yeah, I had the single earpiece under my pillow, listen to the Cardinals on the West Coast, and I try to get to the Braves games too, you know, because both KMOX and WSB had such strong radio shows.
Today at Shavitz, it was Education Day as George Mason faced the Billikens. Several dozens of schools participated in the 11 a.m. tip-off. Over 7,500 were on hand. SLU won the game 68-56. Brooke Flowers had 11 blocks, the most by a Division I player this season. She had a triple-double also, the first in SLU history. So today is National Girls and Women in Sports Day. So we thought we would profile a prolific female coach in the area. I knew her as Julie Gessling as a really good player, and now she's Julie Matheny, a successful coach.
Just turn her, turn her, turn her, turn her, turn her. I know how badly I hurt when I didn't win. That girl took an extra dribble. You need to recover and you need to get back on that trailer. The ball's in our hands, they can't score. Growing up with, 4 brothers, it was automatic. I didn't want to just rebound. I was going to play. I was like, I'll take him on.
Julie Matheny has taken on everybody in high school basketball over the last quarter of a century. She has her state title and nearly 500 wins. Matheny has been one of the leaders in women's sports in our area. She remembers all too well how she was treated when she played college basketball at SLU in the early 80s.
The vans had no heat, like we were scraping the inside of the windows so we could see out the windows. That would never happen in the boys program. It wouldn't have happened, now it would never happen in the girls programs.
At St. Joseph's Academy, the staff never separates. Over the last 2 decades, it's been Julie, Tim Stock in the middle, and Julie's twin brother, Bobby, on the end. Together, this group has developed an efficient system of basketball that has produced consistent success. And Bobby knows his sister's strengths well.
Sincerity. She and caring. She just really cares for the kids, and she wants them to experience what she experienced.
Abby, you got to get out and stop that.
And what would you want one of your players to say on the way out about their experience here?
I don't want to leave. Or how about pay them more? No.
Yes, all high school coaches are underpaid, no doubt about it.
For sure.
Yep.
Frank, thanks.
Tonight, the list of nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is out, and it's making a Missouri rocker very happy.
All I wanna do is have some fun.
Tonight, the nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame are out. The list of 14 artists includes the pride of Kennett, Missouri. Sheryl Crow is a first-time nominee, along with Missy Elliott, Willie Nelson, Cyndi Lauper, and the late George Michael. The 2023 class will be announced in May.
Sweethearts for your sweetheart. CandyStore.com is out with its favorite Valentine's Day candy by state list. Conversation Hearts are the top choice in both Missouri and Illinois. Get this, it takes manufacturers 11 months to produce enough of the hearts for the Valentine's Day season. Work all year long.
It's coming up fast. And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Derek Jeter is Jimmy's guest. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. and have a great tomorrow.